I promised you earlier we talked a little bit about the role of policymakers. We're now going to get a European policy perspective. How does this issue fit into the framework? Many of you, even though many of you are not from Brussels, will have heard of Horizon 2020, the EU's new framework for research and innovation. I am delighted to welcome Clara de la Torre, who is the director responsible for key enabling technologies in the Directorate-General for Research and Innovation in the European Commission. Clara, lovely to have you with us. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Jackie, for this kind introduction, and thank you very much to CEN-CENELEC for having given us the opportunity to join you here today. We are in a moment where we have to be accountable about everything we have to do, and we do, and this is important. And one of the, as we have just heard, one of the aspects that we have to deal with is the links between research, standardization, innovation. And so I'll try to, and I would like to emphasize the important role that CEN-CENELEC is doing on these aspects. And it is important, I was listening carefully to the round table, that it's true that sometimes we have the image of standardization being gray things, boring things, routine things. No, standardization is fun, and I'm sure this is something that we are going to bring back home when we leave this conference. So we all know that research and innovation are key investments for ensuring the future of whatever society. And we have unfortunately not left yet the crisis behind us. And the incoming European Commission, led by President-elect Mr. Juncker, is facing big challenges. And already, Mr. Juncker has highlighted the boost for jobs, growth and investment, and the quest for a strengthened industrial base for Europe. So the importance of research and innovation is not new of today, it's not new of this Commission. The outgoing Commission has very well reflected its commitment to research and innovation because of, and together with the co-legislators, because as you all know, we have a program, the European Research and Innovation Program Horizon 2020, which has been endowed with 80 billion euros, and which is the program which has the biggest increase in budget if we compare to other policy areas. So we have the program, we have the monies, now it's the Commission's responsibility to implement it with the highest possible impact of what we are doing. This is and focusing very much on delivering specific concrete results. Our key challenge is precisely to create economic opportunities of tomorrow, business opportunities of tomorrow, and the well-being of our society. Although the Union is a global leader in many technologies, we all know that we are facing increased competition, not only from our traditional competitors, but also from emerging economies. And as you know, the share of industry's contribution to the European GDP and employment has been going down since the 90s. And in front of that perspective, innovation is a must if we don't want to continue that path. And if we want to have manufacturing in Europe, and if we want to have high added value jobs in Europe. So we are proud that Horizon 2020 is one of the important tools, one of the important programs that is going to help to create growth, jobs, and to tackle these societal challenges. And as we know, but repetition is the mother of pedagogy, Horizon 2020 addresses the full cycle of innovation, from research to market, not in a linear way. We all know that this is not the way it happens, but the different components are still there. And we are focusing very much in innovation-related activities, aiming, as I was saying, at bringing results to the market. And we are deploying a number of tools or instruments. The toolbox has just been mentioned, such as prices, pro-commercial or innovative procurement. And we have developed a new family, a wider family of financial instruments for innovation. But of course, a key tool for innovation to secure a safe path to the market is precisely prenormative research and standard setting. Because, as we've heard, as we all know, standardization is part of the innovation cycle, and it can, and it very often has, opened market access and helped disseminate innovation. The earlier standardization is included in the lifetime of a research project and taken further in the research innovation cycle, the easier and the better it is implemented, and can indeed help to promote innovation and new business opportunities. As Mrs. Halliot was saying, standardization is a real job, is a real thing, and is important as it has, and in Europe, as you know, we have been emphasizing that from different perspectives, and it was one of the important building blocks of our flagship Innovation Union. Of course, we have the standardization package that was adopted by the Commission and with different aspects. And there is a question of the path, of the rhythm of standard setting. I've heard very much, very attentively what has been said between the trade-off between speed and quality. However, I think we have to be proud of having managed to shorten these cycles to reach standards. The standardization process, as a consensus process, as it has been very well described, is now quicker. So in 2010, I think the average was 4 years. Now it's 2.5 years. And I'm looking forward to see the outcome of the assessment that has been launched at the beginning of this year, and the results of which are expected to come in the coming weeks, to see whether our standardization systems, frameworks, in the broader sense, are fit for purpose, are à la hauteur of the innovation that we need in Europe. I'd like to remind a number of concrete positive aspects linked to innovation, standardization and innovation, and to the market potential. We know one important aspect is that standards codify information on the state of the art of a particular technology, and with these standards enable innovation dissemination. This further facilitates the transfers of new ideas and innovative thinking to solve problems and to have innovative products and services being brought to the market. Another important aspect, standardization forces the different stakeholders to think about reducing cost and risk, and this helps to ensure a real easy path to the practical application of research results. Standardization, we know, it's also a key enabler for interoperability, forcing and stimulating the sharing of collective knowledge and the development of collective solutions. As it has been just mentioned also, standardization is very important to build the consumers' and the citizens' confidence. And by themselves, standards are a platform for further innovation. Horizon 2020 is providing, it cannot be otherwise, providing stronger support to standard setting activities. And I must tell you that in these few minutes I've been here, I went through very quickly the brochure that was in your packages as participants in this conference, and I find this was a very good brochure on how we can build in practically in the projects of Horizon 2020 innovation. In fact, innovation is considered a full dissemination tool which can support the transfer of innovation to market and help increase the impact of research projects. I'm insisting on that because, as you have seen in all our call for proposals, the impact of what is being done is very important, and in the evaluation of proposals, evaluators are briefed so that the impact is really looked at. So standards are like patents, publications, and are considered as full research results from projects. In addition, standardization activities are already more integrated in the first Horizon 2020 goal topics. And I could mention, I'm sure my colleague Liam Breslin this afternoon will go more in depth into that, but if you look at programs like the one dealing with nanomaterials and manufacturing, you have a number of topics where either in the scope of the call or in the impact of the call, standardization is explicitly mentioned. Think of in the partnership with industry on the factories of the future. We have topics about the flexible production systems for rapid reconfiguration of machinery and robots, and there standardization appears directly in the scope of the project. If we look at the pilot line scores that we have published, there you can see that standardization must be addressed as part of the impact of the projects. These are the pilot lines on cost-effective nanocomposites and on industrial scale production of nanomaterials for printing applications. There were just a few examples to show that we talk about it, but we do it, as one previous speaker was saying. Coordination of the different standard setting bodies and the different stakeholders is also very important, and we have also made calls for work to be better coordinated, including the work of course, CEN-CENELEC and the OECD in that respect. Now I've mixed up my pages, so I'm sure you will allow me 1 second.
It's the passion, Clara.
It's the passion. It is, Jackie. Yes, here is my page. It doesn't matter, because we know that we have a gap. Still, despite of all what I've been saying, despite what you have all been doing, we have, I know what was in the page that is missing. We are involving more research and in standardization in our projects, but our projects need to be evaluated. And if they need to be evaluated, we need experts that can evaluate them. So may I make a call to you all here and your different networks to register in our database, and so that we can have access to all the competence and knowledge that is needed to evaluate projects with standardization dimension. And I also encourage the bodies that deal with standardization to be active participants, partners in our projects. As I was saying, the gap between innovation and standardization is still not closed, not bridged. And so it is a responsibility of all of us to raise awareness about the opportunities inside the research projects that we have to stimulate and feed standard setting. We must not miss this opportunity, and we have to take advantage of the positive impact on the exploitation of the research outcomes. Vice versa, research should therefore play a key role in the standardization process, providing the needed scientific inputs in the form of pre- or conormative research, but also playing a role more upstream by providing inputs and participating in the standard setting itself. Planning standardization is also very important, and they should be part of projects' work packages, allowing for bringing together scientific and technological expertise and standardization expertise to develop solutions together, thus, by that token, enhancing innovation. We can also say from the EU policy perspective that there is still a lot of work to do, and we would very much appreciate to develop further the very good relations that we have with CEN-CENELEC and all the other bodies and stakeholders concerned. What can we do together further do? On the research and innovation side, we need to better understand the standardization landscape in order to provide the needed input and to avoid duplication of efforts and the development of possibly conflicting specifications within the Union. and elsewhere, I would add. We should also identify clearly the research needs for standardization with a view to boosting the European competitiveness. We should also anticipate standardization needs for upcoming technologies and identify and capture trends and perspectives in research that can feed standardization. So it's a two-way process. We should pay special attention when and where standardization could help to bridge the gaps towards exploitation and to projects with standardization potential, and hence facilitates the uptake of research results that can give a significant impact on standardization. And let us not forget an important aspect. Women are usually good consensus makers, so perhaps we should think of involving more women in these processes. To conclude, standardization is part of all three key priorities of Horizon 2020: excellent science, industrial leadership, and societal challenges. We all agree that standardization is a means to support the market take-up of innovation. Still, further actions and efficient cooperation between the relevant stakeholders are needed in order to efficiently integrate standardization within the framework of Horizon 2020, and more generally within research and innovation. No doubt that this conference is very much contributing to that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Clara. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know, are you willing, if there are any burning questions, are you willing? We have a couple of minutes. If there
are easy questions,
If there's anyone who has a burning question for Clara, does anybody want to ask her? I see one, and in fact, I think, yes, could you come down from the back? It's just on the end of the row there, the lady, there. She's coming from behind you. There we are. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello. I'm coming from Obelis. We are a company specialized in medical devices as a regulatory consultant. And we are participating in FP7 and Horizon 2020 projects. We strongly believe that there is a gap between, as you said, a gap between research and the market. And we strongly believe that regulations should be mandatory in all call of proposals for Horizon 2020 in order to facilitate the innovative ideas to become a product much more faster and to have compliant products that the end users can use. And I would like to know what is your position on this topic.
Okay, this is a broader question than standards. More broadly, they want the regulation to drive it. It's broader than what we're talking about today, but please, Clara, if you...
I very much feel your sense of importance of regulation and standardization. However, I would not go as far as saying that in every call we should be addressing regulation. I mean, we have to address regulation there where it is necessary, there where it is relevant. But, you know, we are criticized very often by overburdening our society, overburdening our economic stakeholders with regulation. So let us not do it too much. So I see the sense of your question, and but let us take things in their good measure.
Thank you, Clara. One quick one here, and then I'll take one from over there afterwards, and then we'll come back to Clara. So this gentleman in the middle, and then if you could take the one on the other side, please.
Thank you. Hello. I'm Professor Linson from the MNLC Pearl Network. I'm still worried about the evaluators. How do you evaluate evaluators? I regularly ask this question. As far as we are concerned, we recognize the competence of evaluators to evaluate simple, straightforward proposals, but we openly question their ability to understand, let alone evaluate complex, avant-garde, integrated interdisciplinary proposals. Okay. So what's your suggestion?
Thank you. And there was one more, just there, if you could pass the other mic back to me, please. No, the other mic back to me. Thank you very much. And this is the last one, because we are running out of time. Please, madam.
Okay, so my name is Dominika Bull. I'm from Pomorskie Regional EU office here in Brussels, and I would just like to ask you if it's Commission organizing any meeting about the Horizon 2020, because I know that there's a number of meetings organized by some regional offices in the countries because of some points, European points. But I would like to know if a Commission is organizing something here in Brussels in general.
Okay, thank you. And Clara, if I could add just one broader question to her, because I don't know the degree to which you can answer that, but you talked about the role of Horizon 20 in supporting standards, creation of standards in projects in Horizon 2020. More broadly, just a thought, if you would, the point Thomas made about policymakers creating what he called a helping environment. Out beyond the borders of Horizon 2020, do you think there is anything key that you, other policymakers, need to do? Is it the raising the awareness? Is it the conveying that standards are fun to start where it is? Just a thought on that, if you would, as well as picking up on those points.
Yeah, indeed, yes. There is work that we all have to do, and indeed we know, but we don't repeat it perhaps very much, is that yes, we need money to do research, yes, we need money to invest, but framework conditions are as important as the money. And part of the framework conditions are the standards. And this is something which we tend to separate. Some people deal with the money, some others deal with the standards, with the taxation, with skills of the workforce. No, all these things have to come together. And standards is one of the family. And this is what we have to understand. It's one of the family. It's not just the... Also standards, sometimes, and it has been said a few minutes ago, are perceived by some people as they are just preventing innovation. It might well happen in some cases, but in most cases, it's on the contrary. They are facilitating innovation. So we have to do a campagne d'image, I think, on the standards.
And those detailed questions?
For these two other questions, I mean, if I enter too much into discussion of how the evaluators and the information days, I'm sure CEN-CENELEC will never invite me again. So I will not deal with those. Just two things. We have in every evaluation, after the evaluation session, we have a survey in the evaluators and observers, and I can tell you, and I am proud to say that our evaluation system is always considered much above average compared to similar programs in other countries, inside and outside Europe. First thing, yes, information sessions about Horizon 2020, there are many of them, some organized by us, Info Days, some by national authorities, but you can look at in our web page and you'll find them. Thank you so much for being here.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you join me in thanking Clara very much indeed. Thank you so much. Okay, it is now time for lunch, but if you could just bear with me for a minute, I have a few practical things to announce. Lunch will be served from now until 2 o'clock, just outside in the exhibition area. If you haven't already taken a look at the exhibition, talk to the people on the stands, please do. As I say, they can give you some very concrete and practical experiences to add to this framework discussion and the sort of policy thrust, if you like, that we've been talking about. The scribing wall. Mariella's been frantically busy all morning. She's nearly run out of paper already. I don't know what she's going to do this afternoon when we come back. But please do take a look. It's fascinating. It's capturing the main headlines from what we're talking about. Some of you agreed in advance to be interviewed by journalists. If you did agree and you've missed your slot, I gather a few people haven't turned up for their slots. It doesn't matter about the time. Please, it's in the next room, the Silver Hall. Please do go and go for your interviews. It's marked on your badge what your time was. Ignore that if you've missed your slot. Please do go. And then this afternoon, there are breakout sessions. As you will see here, we have 2 lots of 3 parallel sessions. Could I ask you, please, to go to the one that you registered for, because the rooms have been allocated in relation to the number of people who registered, so you'll mess the whole system up if everybody goes to a different one. Just to take you quickly through, the first one, if it could be described, back to basics, everything you ever wanted to know about standards but didn't dare to ask. That's upstairs, top floor, panoramic hall. Standards and IPR. It's an issue that's come up time and time again this morning. That will be in this room. And market access, that crucial role in giving you the competitive edge by giving you market access. That is well up on the top floor. Then at 3 o'clock, 1-hour session. Then we have another 3 1-hour sessions. Horizon 2020, more about the issues Clara was just raising. Session 5, strategic decisions, that giving you as a weapon for a company as it was described today in the panoramic hall, and knowledge transfer, this acting as a bridge from science to markets and services on the market, again, up on the top floor. Then we will have a very short break, so please, after your breakout sessions, come back in here as quickly as you can. We'll have a closing panel where I'm going to hear from the moderators about what you have discussed, and I will give you an opportunity to comment on that if we have time, and then some closing reflections. So that is the program for the rest of the day. Thank you again to our speakers this morning, to our panel, and to all of you for your questions and comments. Enjoy lunch. I'll see you back here later on. Bon appétit.